Hey there, everybody. This is Tony Porter, Cards and Dice TV, and welcome to Wednesday Night Baseball. It's almost Thursday morning baseball because we're approaching the midnight hour. And tonight you're going to watch Replay Baseball Classic version. I'm going to go over the lineups. It's going to be the Astros against the Mets in 1984. Now I'm replaying the season. I'm playing a series every month. And let me give you some details about that. The Mets are 42-39. And the Astros are 40-35. The pitching matchups tonight are going to be Bob Knepper versus Ed Lynch. Knepper has a 3.82 ERA. And Lynchy is at a 4.50 ERA. His actual ERA that season was 4.50, and he has a 4.50 ERA so far in this replay. So that's pretty interesting. So let's get started with the game. Let me go over the lineups now. I love these cards. I think these are the kind of coolest, most charming cards out because it's almost done in a typewriter style. You know, it almost looks like it's a 1950s card with the font and all that. Let's start off with the Houston Astros, the 84 Houston Astros, with Bill Doran, Craig Reynolds batting second, the shortstop. The first baseman, Denny Walling. Oh, actually, he's playing third base. There he is, third base. Denny Walling. Jose Cruz is in left field, batting cleanup. Batting fifth is Jerry Mumphrey. Sixth is Harry Spillman with one L. He's at first base. In right field is Terry Poole, Mark Bailey, the catcher, and Bob Knepper, the pitcher. So on the back side of these cards, as you can see, is a little baseball field. And Ed Lynch is on the mound. You can see his tall pitcher card right there. He starts off the game as an A pitcher. And of course, for hit and run, we use that line when there's a hit and run. And then he can go in as a starter. He can go 6 innings, and then of course until he allows a base runner, and then he would switch around to his B side. That's how you play this classic set. Very charming set. A lot of fun to play. Very straightforward. It's got some detail to it. It's got a little meat on his bones. It's not. These were APA guys that said we need a little bit more than APA. They did like an APA advanced. And it's very, very nice to play, and the language in the book is very nice as well, and you'll see as we go. Let's start off. It's very simple to play. You roll 2d6, and let me look for those in my bin. So some guys complained about the d6s, so I'll be nice. Every so often I try to be nice, and I won't use the double d6s. I use a single d6. I don't know that I have one around. Let's see what I got lying around. Hold on a second. Oh, that stopped singing. All right, so I got a black d6, and then we need a white d6, and here's a white one, an old beat up one. I like those. All right, we're ready to roll here. Alright, here's the chart book, and you can see the old style 1980s graphics. And let's roll this, see what happens. See if I can even fit the tower in here as well. And I think I can fit the tower in. So let's do this. I gotta have space for the tower and space for the cards without losing anything. Alright, here goes. Ed Lynch versus Bill Doran. Start the ball game. All right, it's a 1-3, so it's going to be column 1. It's a 2 on Lynch, and a 3 is a 7. Column 1, and that's popped up to the right side. Second baseman, Chapman, and he puts it away for out number 1. So just like that, Ed Lynch retires Doran, and here comes Craig Reynolds. Here's a pitch, and that is a 2-4. Column 2 is a 3, and a 4 is going to be a 19, column 2. And that's going to say it's a fly ball, right field. Right field is Strawberry. No, actually, Jerry Martin is in right field tonight. Let me go over the defense real quick. It's left fielder is George Foster. Center fielder is Mookie Wilson. Right fielder is Jerry Martin. And Jerry Martin doesn't have a lot of at-bats, but he's included in this 1984 classic set. If you can grab one of these, get your hands on it. Get a hold of it. It's a beautiful set. It's got a ton of players. It's got over 30 cards per team. Some teams have more. Some teams have a little bit less. And here's Denny Walling. He's a left-handed batter. Nope. And there it goes. It's going to be a 44, so that's going to be the fielding column. And a 4, it's a really quick result because you need to have at least a 12 to a 16 for an error, and that's way lower than that. The 4 is going to be a shortstop, so it's bounced to the shortstop. And that's Gardenhire. And he will pick it up and throws to first to retire the side. So it's 3 up, 3 down. The Astros against the Mets here in Flushing, Queens. Beautiful downtown Flushing, Queens. Hop, skip, and a jump from Manhattan. You want to go to Midtown Manhattan, have lunch or dinner, do some sightseeing, visit the Central Park or the Metropolitan Museum. You can always do that. And then come to the game. So, all right, here's Bob Knepper against Mookie Wilson. Bottom of the first. All right, I cannot see squat at that angle. It's a 2-3, so that's a 1 and a 3 is a strikeout. So Wilson, from 2 to 6 on columns 1 and 2, it's a strikeout. So that ended up being, it was a 1, it was a 5, so that's a strikeout. So it's easy to memorize some of these numbers, so you can play a little bit quicker. Kelvin Chapman with a 1 and a 3, that's a 3, and a 3 is a 38 column 1. And a 38 column 1 is going to be a bouncing ball to the shortstop. Craig Reynolds gloves it, throws out Chapman, who's hustling down the line, got him by half a step. And here is Keith Hernandez, number 17. One of my favorite color guys. Hasn't been doing a lot this year. I've only seen him a few games. Here's a pitch from Bob Knepper. And Knepper is a lefty, so this is lefty on lefty. It's going to be a 1-4. So that's a 3, and a 4 is a 4, column 1, strike 3. And Knepper picks up a couple of strikeouts in that first inning. We move to the top of the second inning, no score, using the classic replay baseball. Definitely a hidden gem. Really goes unnoticed and unloved, but this game is one of the most fun classic games. You can pit it easily up against Stratomatic or Appa or Status Pro or even the pennant game, Pursue the Pennant. All right, so let's go with the top of the second inning. Ed Lynch. I don't expect too much out of Ed Lynch. Let's see what he does. He's going to face Cruz. Cruz batted 300, I believe, from memory in 1984. Mumphrey and Spillman. Here goes. That's a 6-5, so that's the power column. That's a 3, and a 5 is a 19. That's a fly ball to right. The way you know that is a 17 is a fly ball to left, an 18 is a fly ball to center, and a 19 is a fly ball to right field. Now, what you'll find is when you play modern games, if you know the older, earlier games, you're going to find a lot of similarities because the guys who designed the newer games learned from these older games. So there's little things that they kind of included in there from their favorite games. So it really makes you playing learning the classics is going to make learning the newer games a little bit easier all the time. Here's Jerry Mumphrey. He's a switch hitter, bats from the left side against the righty Ed Lynch. And that is a 5-2. So that's going to be a 1, and a 2 is a 33, column 5. 33, column 5. I have no idea what that is from memory, and that's going to be strike 3. And Mumphrey swings and misses at an Ed Lynch curveball. Went fishing for that one. Here's Harry Spillman with 2 outs and nobody on. Here's a pitch, and that is a, see if we can get that a little bit. Let me move this back just a little bit. So get all that in the, all right, that's going to be a 6-3. That's a power column. It's a 3 and a 19. That's popped up. Right field. Back goes Hernandez. Racing in is Jerry Martin, and Jerry Martin calls him off at the last minute to retire the side. 3 up, 3 down. So when I play these older seasons, I like to let the starting pitchers go as much as possible without making it unrealistic. That's one of the approaches that I take to playing these games. I just want to get into the game and roll the game, and I don't have to be a master coach. I just kind of like to get the feel for the teams, the feel for the era, and just enjoy, you know, the relaxation of sitting back and rolling a game. So we'll go to the bottom of the second inning. And it's going to be George Foster leading off. Now, the Mets signed Foster in, I believe, 82, I believe, for $10 million. Was not a popular player in New York. All right, here goes. And that is a 5-5. It's going to be a 2 and a 5 is a 20. Column 5, and that is a space hit. And then there's a whole bunch of other stuff going to happen here. That 20, and we'll double check just to make sure. Yep. All right, it's a 2, it's a 20, and the 20 says single between first and second. Roll 1 die against the fielder's small error rating. And right here in parentheses it says the second baseman. So the second baseman is Doran, and he's got a 4. So if the die is higher, there's an error. So let's roll. If it's higher than a 4, it is not, so there's no error. And it's a single. So that's the first hit of the game. George Foster gets an infield hit. And here's Hubie Brooks with a runner on first. And that is a 2-3. That's a 2, which is a 1. That's column 2. It's a 1 on Nepper. And then the 3 is a 51, column 2. 51, column 2. And that's a ground ball to the right side. Advancing 1 base is Foster. So Foster goes to second. Here's Jerry Martin. Let me give you an example real quick here. Jerry Martin had 91 at-bats. So we even have Winningham with 27 at-bats. Pitching-wise, I got a pitcher with 25 innings pitched, Gardner. So it goes all the way down to 27 at-bats and 25 innings pitched. Let me count quickly how many batters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 batters, and now the pitchers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So there are 30 players altogether on the Mets. So here's Jerry Martin. Here's a pitch from Nepper. That's a 3-6. It's a 2, and a 6 is a 44, column 3. And that's going to be a line drive to left versus a lefty. It's a single. So he is a lefty pitcher. So it's a single, runners advance 2 bases. So hustling the, oh, but wait a second, Foster was on second. So they're going to wave him around, and he's going to come in to score an RBI single, and Mets take a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the second inning. So Jerry Martin lines a Nepper fastball right up the middle, and Foster read it well, comes around to score. Mets are up 1-0. Here's Fitzgerald, Mike Fitzgerald, catcher for the Mets. And that's a 4-1. Again, that's a fielding column, so all I got to do is read the 1, and then I have to add the fielders column. But I know what the fielders are already by heart. And that 1 is very low, so it's going to go to the 1 tells me it goes to the first baseman. And the first baseman, Hernandez, let's look at his number. I'm sorry, the Mets are up, so it's going to be the first baseman is Spillman. Spillman is a first baseman, 4, so that's a total of a 5. Column 4, halfway, right? And that's going to be second to first double play. So it goes to the first baseman. Actually, in this case, second to first. So that's a 3-6-3 double play to end the inning. So the Mets pick up a run on a couple of singles, and we go to the top of the third. The Mets 1 and the Astros, the 84 Astros, nothing. Okay, we're in the top of the 5th inning. There's 2 outs, and Bailey singles. Catcher for the Astros is on at first base, and it's Bob Knepper. Now this is interesting because we're going to roll a 35, and it's going to be a 4 on Lynch, and a 5 is a 16 on column 3. And that's going to be triple to right center field. But it says with 2 out and a right fielder or center fielder, a 5 defensively, which Mookie Wilson is a 5 defensively, score a double, batter out at third for outfield to third base. So it's going to be Wilson, I guess, throws out Knepper, who's trying for 3. And what happens to the runner at first base? He's a slow runner, so basically there's a bunch of ways that you can resolve this. A lot of times you're going to be playing games and you're not going to have an official rule. You got to have these little kind of hacks to be able to resolve this. Mark Bailey's a 3 speed, so we're going to say that if it's 3 or less, he's safe, and if it's higher, he is out. So let's roll. And all right, not that he is out, but that the player at third was tagged before he scored. And what we're going to say is that he scores before because we roll within his speed. So the Astros have taken a 2-1 lead here in the top of the 5th inning. Knepper picks up an RBI double, but he's thrown out 8-5 at third base. And that retires the side. So Bailey scores, and it's 1 run on 2 hits, and the Astros lead it 2-1. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. We're playing classic replay baseball. All right, it's going to be the bottom of the order for the Mets. It's going to be Fitzgerald. And here goes. And that's a 3-3. So that's a 2, and a 3 is a 35, column 3, and that's going to be a drive in the gap. That's going to split the outfielders and roll to the wall. Chugging around first and headed for second base with a stand-up double is Mike Fitzgerald here in the bottom of the 5th inning. In a 2-1 ball game, the 84 Astros are up. All right, here's Ron Gardner. We're going to swing away. We're not going to bunt here. Oh, that's a 1 and a 2. So it's column 1. It's a 3 on Knepper. And a 2 is a 35. So that's going to be a 38, column 1. 38, column 1 is a ground ball to short. Infield back, out at first. Runner advances 1 base. So going to third. I never really thought about playing the infield back or anything like that. Runner advances 1 base with the infield back. Infield halfway. Second to first double play, but no. Wait a second. Hey, what are you doing? No. No. Leave it. All right. She likes to have some fun. So we're going to allow the catcher to move to third base on that. And here's the pitcher. So infield's going to be in right now for the pitcher. So it's Knepper versus Lynch in the bottom of the 5th. Yeah, I don't bring pinch hitters in the bottom of the 5th. This is in 2001. That's going to be a 6-3. So it's a 4 and a 3. That's going to be a fly ball to center field. It's a 20 total. Fly ball to center field. Let's see if this will get Fitzgerald home. It depends. Deep fly out to center. With runner on third and less than 2 outs, scored as a sacrifice fly. So this is going to be deep enough. He's going to tag. He's going to come home and the game is tied. Sacrifice fly for Lynch. So both pitchers have had a hand in the offensive score, and both catchers have played a role as well. So it's the pitcher-catcher combo that's really supplying some of the offense, at least 50% of the offense today. And there's 2 outs, nobody on, and here is Mookie Wilson. Mookie Wilson struck out, and he walked and was caught stealing. And that's a 3-2, so it's going to be a 2 and a 13, and I believe that's going to be lined column 3. I'm starting to learn this, and that's going to be line. No, caught by the second baseman. Doran goes up, brings it down, L4, and that retires the side. 1 run on 1 hit, and we move to the top of the 6th inning. So we got a heck of a ball game here, 2-2. Now Knepper can go 7. You can see that. He can go 7. And Lynch can go 6 complete. And then you have to start looking out to see if he gets fatigued. And he'll go to his B side. I really like that. All right, so here's Doran. It's a 4-4, and we're just going to go directly. See, now it's an 11. And it's hit to the shortstop. 4 and 5 are to the shortstop. My shortstop, Gardner, I believe, is a 4. And we'll check that. He's a 3 or a 4. Shortstop, 3. So we have an 11 plus a 3. That's a 14. Column 4. And the infield is back. A 14. Is safe at first on an error. So it's a ground ball. He bobbles it. Everybody's safe. And the go-ahead run is on at first. Doran on the error. So both teams now have an error. And Craig Reynolds. We're going to try a hit and run. I'm going to try a hit and run with Craig Reynolds. And I'll show you how to do that. It's a 6 and a 4. So we're going to use the hit and run line. It's a 5. And then we're going to use the 4, hit and run 21. So it's going to be a 26. It's a 5 on hit and run on the pitcher and a 4 for the white, which is a 21 plus 5. It's a 26 on the hit and run page. This reminds me a lot of the little sacrifice booklet for Apple, by the way. It's a 26, and that's going to be a high fly out to short right field. So the hit and run fails. And back to first goes Doran. Here's Dennis Walling. Here's the pitch from Lynch. It's a 1-2. So let's put that up again so we don't get confused. It's a 2, and a 2 is a 7. That's a pop-up. Haven't memorized these yet. It's a pop-up to second base. And backing up is Chapman, and he hauls it in. 2 out, runner on first. Here's Jose Cruz. Cruz today is flied out to right twice. Oh, that's a 6 and a 4. That's a 3 and a 7. And it's going to be a 3 and a 4, which is going to be a 7, column 6. And that's going to be a single to center. Runner advances 1 base. With 2 out, all runners advance 2 bases. So that's going to send the go-ahead run to third. So Doran goes to third. And Jerry Mumphrey. Jerry Mumphrey on at first at the plate. And Cruz is on at first. Doran is on at third. 2 outs. Top of the 6th inning. Score is all tied at 2 apiece. So Mumphrey's a switch hitter. And Mumphrey today is struck out and flied out. Here's the pitch from Ed Lynch. That's a 6 and a 4. It's a 3. It's going to be a 29. A 26 plus a 3 is a 29, column 6. And that's going to be a long single to right field. With 2 out, runner on first may attempt to score. Roll 1 die against the runner's speed. If the die is higher, he is out. If not higher, he scores. On the play at home, the batter may try for second. There's a lot going on here. So first and third, it's going to be a long single in the gap. With 2 out, runner on first may attempt to score. Cruz, let's look at his speed. He's a 4. So what the heck? We're going to try to score. So if the die is higher, he is out. And I always have to be careful with these, and I have to reread them a couple of times. So it says it clearly right there. With 2 out, runner on first may attempt to score, which is highly unusual with a single. It's almost like a rare play. So I noticed that there's some stuff like this that by the next book, the next year, they get corrected and adjusted. Some things that kind of, this is the first time that this has happened to me. So it doesn't happen all the time. It's unusual, but we're going to play it as a rare play. I don't have to do it. Roll 1 die against the runner's speed. If the die is higher, he is out. Outfield to catcher. If not higher, he scores. On the play at home, the batter may try for second, and you do the same thing. All right, so let's do it. Here's the throw, and he is safe. So both runners score. Now we're going to try for second. So we're going to try for second. Roll 1 die against the batter's speed. Another 4. So if it's higher, he's out at second. And he is out at second. So it goes to catcher to shortstop. 2-6. But he picks up 2 RBIs. One drives in the first batter and the fourth batter. And he's thrown out at second base. But the Astros pick up a couple of runs on 2 hits. And after 6, they lead it 4-2. So it has meat on its bones here. So you can see that it's not just a result. There's extenuating circumstances that constantly come up, but it's not so constant that it messes with the flow of the game, and that's a critical aspect of this game. It really flows and it's extremely fluid. Very well done. I wouldn't continually play this if it wasn't well done, and it's just really super enjoyable. All right, so it's going to be Chapman, Hernandez, and Foster. Let's see if they can come back. See if the Mets can come back here. And that's a 5-3. It's a 2, and a 3 is a 6, and that's going to be a base on balls. So it's a 2 on the pitcher and a 4 on the batter. And column 5, I know from memory, that's going to be a base on balls. So that's exactly what the Mets want. Now a home run will tie this game. And I'll show you, because column 5 is the walk column, and it starts at 6. Base on balls, 6, unless there's 2 outs. Then it becomes 2 balls. Bases loaded. Oh, base on balls with bases loaded. Now 2 outs, excuse me. With the bases loaded becomes 2 balls. All right, so here's Keith Hernandez, runner on first. Now, Keith Hernandez, power-wise, not a lot of power. Has some power. A 6-6 would be a home run. Now we're going to try hit and run here. And that is a 1 and a 4. So it's a 3 and a 4 is going to be a 4 column 1. Oh, nope. We don't do that because we're hit and running. So we actually have to do a whole different thing here. I just got ahead of myself. So we're going to use this here. So it's going to be a 1. It's going to be a 4. And on the hit and run, column 4 is going to be a 24. 24 is going to be a high fly. The shallow center field racing in is Cruz, and Cruz gets there. And we're going to double check that. It's a 4. And the hit and run for it's a 24. And it is a short fly to center field for out number 1. All right, here comes George Foster. Foster is 1 for 2. He's singled and struck out, scored a run. That's a 1-4. So it's gonna be a 3, and then a 38 column 1. And that's going to be a ground ball to shortstop with the infield halfway. Second to first double play, inning over. 6-4-3. And the Astros turn it. And that retires the side. Mets don't leave any. And we move to the top of the 7th now. This is where it gets interesting because, let me explain why. So Lynch has gone 6 complete. Now, when he gives up a base runner, he's going to go to his, you're going to flip his card, he's going to become a B. So you got to be aware of that and pay attention. Sometimes I get involved in what I'm talking about and totally go off and miss stuff. So Harry Spillman is up. He's a left-handed hitter. He's 0 for 2. He's flied out and grounded out. Here's the pitch from Lynch. We definitely don't want anybody to get on base. It's a 6 and a 1, so that's a 3. And a 1 is a fly ball to deep right field. Back goes the right fielder Jerry Martin to the track and makes the catch. 1 down. Next batter is Terry Poole. Terry Poole homered to tie the game at 1 in the top of the 3rd. Here's a pitch. And that's a 3 and a 6. That's a 4 and a 6. It's a 51 column 3. And that is going to be a line drive to right against he's a righty, I believe. Yep. So a 51 against a right-hander. It's a single to right. So he lines one to right center field, cut off by Jerry Martin, and Terry Poole is on with 1 out. Here's Mark Bailey. That's a 4-2, and that's a fielding column, so we're going to use the 2. It's a 1. It's going to be hit to the 2 is the second baseman. My second baseman, Chapman. Let's look at his number. Chapman is a 3. So we got a 4 plus a 3 is a 4, column 4 with the infield halfway, and that is going to be a 4-6-3 double play. Mets turn it. Inning over. No runs. 1 hit, none left. And we go to the bottom of the 7th. Let's see if the Mets can come back. They're down by 2. Oh, wait a second. Actually, you see that? Wait a second. I got to turn that over. But it didn't come into play because it was a 4, which is a fielding column. Regardless of if it's A or B, it's still an F on the pitcher. So that didn't have any effect on the result. So we're going to move on to the bottom of the inning. Bob Knepper can still go 7, so he's still good. It's going to be Hubie Brooks, who's 1 for 2. Jerry Martin, and then the catcher Fitzgerald. All righty. Great game. 4-2 Astros, 1984. Mets are 42 and 39. And the Astros are 40 and 35. I could check the standings and tell you. Let me take a quick peek at the standings. I'm going to take a look quickly at the standings. And let's see. I'll be right back. All right, so here are the standings. So as you can see, it's pretty tight. I mean, the Mets are 40 and 35, and they're only 4 games back in the National League East. It's Pittsburgh on top, with Philadelphia right behind them, half a game out. Then it's the Chicago Cubs. Cubs are a game and a half out. Then it's New York, 4 games out, and it's St. Louis and Montreal in last place. But all the teams are pretty close. So the last place team, Montreal, is only 7.5 games back. And this is halfway through the season, I believe. Those are the standings in my replay. Okay, we are in the bottom of the 7th inning. It's Bob Knepper versus Hubie Brooks. Remember, the Mets are down by 2 runs. And it's a 3-2, so on Knepper it's a 2. And then a 2 is going to be a 4, column 3. And that is Luna. Luna is a Doberman. And he makes those noises. That's a fly ball left field. Over is the left fielder, Cruz. He makes the catch. I thought he was in center field, but he's in left field. Here's Jerry Martin. Jerry Martin's 1 for 2 and picked up an RBI today. Drove in Foster in the 2nd inning. So he's filling in for Strawberry. Strawberry's not playing in today's game. Here's the pitch, Bob Knepper. It's a 1-6. So it's a 3 and a 6 is going to be a 48. Column 148, and that is going to tell us, we got to look at there's a little chart that they give you. They made changes as the game went on. So that's a column 148, that's a strikeout. 2 down. So Knepper is pitching pretty well. He's retired 4 in a row. And here's Mookie, no, here's Fitzgerald. Now I protect these cards with these sleeves. The cards that I use most often I'll protect. These are the baseball card sleeves. I also use them for my baseball cards. You can see stuff like this will get protected. Let's see. See that? That's for my 1980 A's replay. And it's Mike Fitzgerald with 2 outs, nobody on here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Mets need to get something going. Time's running out. And that is this, we're going to go direct. It's a fielding column, so we're going to go directly to the 6 on the batter. That's a 1. So that's going to be to the second baseman. It's going to be an out regardless, because it's got to make it to 12, and it's not going to make it to 12. At least 12. 12 to 16 is the error range from what I've seen. You know, this guy's always surprised me with stuff. So that ends the inning, and we go to the top of the 8th inning, playing classic. Now Ed Lynch is on his B side. Again, we're going to try to push him a little bit. So I have a good bullpen. Here's Bob Knepper. He's up. And that is a 4-6. So again, it's a fielding column. We're going to go to the 5. And that is to the second baseman. The second baseman, I know, I believe, is a 3. So that's going to be an out. A bouncer to Chapman. Chapman throws him out. So Knepper grounds out. And here's Bill Doran. Doran reached on an error and scored in the 6th inning. That's a 6-4. So it's a 5. And a 4 is a 21, column 6. Column 6, 21, and that's going to be a deep fly ball to center field. On the run is Wilson, and Wilson runs it down. Nice read right off the bat on that. Got a good jump on that ball. And here's Craig Reynolds. Craig Reynolds bats from the left side. He's 1 for 3 today. Here's a pitch from Lynch. And that's a 1-6, and it's a 4. And a 6 is a 49, column 1. And that is going to be, again, we got to look. I believe that's a strikeout. Column 1, 49, and strike 3. And that ends the inning. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Mets are down to the last 6 outs in this one. Mets won over 90 games in 1984. And I believe they won that over 90 games in 1985 as well. So it's going to be Gardner, and then we're going to get a pinch hitter for the pitcher in the bottom of the 8th inning. Here's the pitch, and that's a 1-6, so it's a 3 there. And a 6, it's a 40, that's a strikeout. So Gardner swings and misses at a high fastball. And we're going to get a righty coming up to pinch hit. Who's it going to be? It's going to be Wally Backman. Wally Backman's going to pinch hit for Lynch, so he's out. And then we're going to get a new pitcher. It can be, let's see, we got a at least one lefty coming up, but a couple of righties. So we're going to bring in Sisk, Doug Sisk, to pitch. All right. So 1 out, and Wally Backman, switch hitter, bats from the right side against Knepper. Here's a pitch, and it's a 3-1. A 3 is a 2, and a 1 is to be a 20. Oh, 3 is a 2 there on the pitcher, and then a 1 is a 4, so that's a 6. Column 3, 6, and that is, oh, it just misses. It's a short fly. Racing in is the center fielder, Mumphrey, and he gets there. Saved a hit there from dropping in. Here's Mookie Wilson with 2 out, nobody on, bottom of the 8th inning. Mets are down 4-2. And that's a 5-6, so that's going to be a 2. And a 6 is a 27. So that's a 29, column 5. 29, column 5. What will that be? And that's going to be a fly ball. Shallow center, racing in is Mumphrey, and Mumphrey again with a nice catch. And that retires the side. So Knepper's retired 8 in a row. runs, no hits for the Mets. We go to the top of the 9th inning. So we're going to get a new pitcher for the Mets. It's going to be Doug Sisk. Going to pitch against Walling. Oh, we got 2 lefties. So it's not going to be my mistake. It's going to be, I read the name wrong. It's going to be Jesse Orosco. Jesse Orosco's coming in. And he will be facing so Lynch went 8 innings. Not too shabby. How many hits he gave up? Gave up 1, 2, 6, 7 hits. 4 runs, but only 2 runs were earned. How many did he walk? I don't think he walked any. He's got good control. Struck out a couple. Walked none, struck out 2. So his day's complete. He's in line for the loss. So it's going to be Denny Walling against Jesse Orosco here in the top of the 9th inning. See if the Mets can hold on and come back with a rally in the bottom of the 9th inning. That's Snake Eyes. It's a 1 and a 1. It's an 11. That's line base hit, and that's got a little star there. That star, I believe, is a stolen base type thing. Let's see what it says real quick. It says, where a single appears, if the batter reaches base safely, next base is open, roll 1 die. If the die is higher than the catcher's defensive rating, he steals a base. And if not, he holds. Okay, so let's roll. The defensive rating for Fitzgerald is a 3. So if it's higher, he steals the base, and he does. There he goes. Throw down, not in time. Walling steals second. All right, so there's a runner in scoring position, and we are going to pitch to Cruz. Got a switch hitter, and we got another lefty. But we're going to probably see a pinch hitter for Spillman. All right, here goes. That's a 1 and a 5. It's a 1 and a 5. It's a 31, column 1. 31, column 1. That's ball 4. And that is Luna that you hear. She does that. She makes noises. Hey, it's all right. How you doing? All right, she's beautiful. She is beautiful. Hold on. Yeah, this is Luna. Hey, Luna, say hello to the camera. There she is. She's got a little scar on her face. She was in a fight. But she doesn't fight. She's a loving dog. She is lovely. Right, Luna? You want to sing for the camera? Want to sing for the camera? Huh? All right. She is a sweetie. Beautiful doughboy. All right. Okay, we're back here. Let's see. So we got Mumphrey. We're going to try to bunt now. If it's odd, with him, we don't know, that he's going to bunt. If it was a pitcher, I'd have my infield in. So we're going to do... odd, it's in. I'm going to write it down so I remember. So odd is in. And let's do that. So we're going to bunt. We're going to look at his sacrifice rating plus the fielder. So let's do this. Let's throw 1 die. So roll 1 die only. The pitcher is always in. Here goes. All right, a 3. So it's to the third baseman. So a 3 says that he's in, right? Because it's an odd number. So the third baseman is Brooks. And Brooks, what's his defensive number? Brooks is a 3, so that's a 6. That's going to be a good sacrifice. So both runners are going to move up. Both runners move up. And it's a sacrifice for Mumphrey. And it's second and third now. With 1 out for Spillman, but he's a lefty, so we are going to, and Orozco can go 5 batters. So what we're going to, we could walk him, but we're going to let them pinch hit. So the Astros are going to pinch hit here, top of the 9th inning, 4-2. They're up 4-2, so they do want some insurance runs. And who have I been using to pinch hit? I need a righty. Ray Knight. We're going to bring in Ray Knight to pinch hit. And then he'll stay in to play first base. All right, so there's Ray Knight. And what happens, we're going to intentionally walk Ray Knight to load the bases so he doesn't get the bat. All right, so here comes Terry Poole, another lefty. And we will face Poole. Bases loaded. Infield's going to be in. We don't want any more runs to score. We got 1 out, so let's do it. And that is a 2 and a 3, so that's a 2, which is a 1. Column 2 is a 1, and a 3 is a 50. So that's a 51 column 2. Uh-oh. 51 column 2, and that's going to be a ground ball to the right side. Runners advance 1 base. Okay, with a runner on second and the second baseman playing in, scored as a strikeout. Okay, so it's going to be a strikeout. Big strikeout by Orozco. He's faced 1, 2, 3, 4 because the intentional walk doesn't count on him. And here's Mark Bailey. So the bases are loaded. Mark Bailey's up with 2 outs. Bailey today is 1 for 3. He singled, scored a run, grounded out, and hit into a double play. And we are going to let me see something real quick here. That's a pound 4. Let me check and see who we can bring into pinch hit. Oh, you know what we got? We got Enos Cabell. Let's bring in Enos Cabell to pinch hit. And then we can always replace this catcher with another catcher. We'll bring in Ashby to catch. So Enos Cabell is going to come in to pinch hit. Have some pinch hitting fun. So bases loaded, 2 outs. Cabell batting. He's a right-hander facing Jesse Orozco, who this is his last batter, and then of course he would have to allow somebody to get on base. Here goes. It's a 6 and a 1, so that's going to be a 3, and a 1 is a 19, and that's a fly ball right field. Martin is there, settles under it, makes the catch, and that retires the side. So the Astros fail to capitalize on a bases loaded situation. They had Jesse Orozco on the ropes, but somehow he wiggled his way out of that. So no runs on no hits. Actually, it was 1 hit. And we move to the bottom of the 9th. Last licks for the Mets. Can the 84 Mets come back? Playing through this season. The 84 season, playing one series every month just to get to know the team and get a feel for the season. And then I can always run it back. Bottom of the 9th, it's going to be Kelvin Chapman leading off. But we may see a pinch hitter for Kelvin Chapman. I don't know. Let's see. 5-9. And then is a ground ball to short. Okay. Let's see. We already pinch hit with Backman. Oh, you know who we have? Nepper's a lefty, so we can't bring in Staub. We got Okendo and Ortiz. We're going to bring in Okendo. Jose Okendo to pinch hit. Why not? Let's have some fun. New first baseman is Ray Knight. And we're going to try to get Nepper to go a complete game. So as long as he doesn't give up a hit, he'll stay on his A side. So Okendo's batting. Leading off in the bottom of the 9th inning. It's a 4-2 Astros lead. See what happens. That's a 2 and a 1. It's going to be a 2 and a 1 is a 30, column 2. And that's going to be a ground ball to the shortstop, picked up by Reynolds. Better hurry, throw to first in time. 1 down. Next up is Keith Hernandez. He's 0 for 3, reached on an error. So Nepper winds and deals. Swung on, and that is going to be a 19 to the second baseman, Doran, who's a 2. That's a 21. Column 4 with the infield back. And that's going to be a single off the infielder's glove, and Hernandez is safe at first. So that brings the tying run to the plate in George Foster. And that's going to spin Bob Nepper around, and that's going to force us to go into the bullpen. Now, the Astros have a pretty good bullpen. They got a guy in the bullpen named Dave Smith. Now, let me make sure that he's the closer. I got Joe Sambito and Dave Smith. And the way you can check, you get these little cards, and it gives you the data, the stats. Now, it's very small writing, super small writing. So I use a Sherlock Holmes here. Oh, game started, complete games. Doesn't give me the saves. So I'm not going to know if he's the closer or not. But I believe Dave Smith, with a 2.21 ERA, was the closer. And regardless, we're going to bring him in as the closer. So Dave Smith's going to get the call to face George Foster. Now Smith can face 5 batters. Hopefully the Astros hope it doesn't get to that. But Foster's got good power. With one swing of the bat, he can tie this up. Let's quickly check how many home runs Foster hit. Foster hit 24 home runs, 550 at bats. All right, so bottom of the 9th, 1 out, 1 on. Mets are down 4-2. What can Foster do for us? 66 would do it. This is APA influenced a little bit there. Oh, and that is going to be a 46, so that's going to be a fielding column. And the 6 is a 4. And that's bounced to the second baseman. So the second baseman's a 2. That's a 6 with a runner on first. This may be a double play. They go for 1 to second, back to first. 4-6-3, double play. Game over. So the Mets lose it by a score of 4-2. Foster bounces out to the second baseman, and he turns it. So Dave Smith is going to pick up a save. The victory goes to Nepper. The loss is going to go to Lynchy. And that's the ball game. So the Mets drop to 42 and 40, while the Astros 41 and 35. And yep, that's about it. So hope you enjoyed the presentation of Replay Baseball Classic Edition. It's a fun game. I highly recommend it. And that's about it. Home runs. Terry Poole hit a home run. That was it. Big hitters, guys, they got more than 1 hit in this game. Not too many. We'll do the line score. So it was 4 runs on how many hits? 1, 2, 6, 7, 8. So 4 runs, 8 hits, 1 error for the Astros. The Mets had 2 runs on 1, 2, 3, 5, on 5 hits and 1 error. And that's all she wrote. Well, thanks for watching. This is CP Cards and Dice, Tony Porter, and I will see you soon. Take care.